What if, try as you might, you just can't get your plan to work? What do you do then? Well, that's our question today. Hi, everyone, and welcome again to another episode of the Eternity Changers Show. My name is Paul Allen Clifford, and I'm your host once again. And I'd love for you to ask your questions, make your comments, etc. by going over to trinitydigitalmedia.com/contact. There you can leave your message, or you can find any of the contact information that you're most comfortable using. So, as I say, method one, just leave a message there or leave a message down below the video. Either way is fine. Method number two, drop me a line on email, paul@trinitydigitalmedia.com. Method three, you're more of a phone person? 1-877-763-3246. That's 1-877-POD-ECHO. Method four, you like Twitter? Well, so do I. In fact, I wrote the book on Twitter for churches, so you might think that I might have a Twitter account, and I do. It's listed below in my lower third here if you're watching the video, and that is Paul Allen Cliff, PaulAlanclif. So, let's get started, and this is a lesson that I learned just yesterday. Now, I think on some level I've known this for some time, but let me explain what happened yesterday. If you watch the show every day, you might notice that I didn't have a show yesterday. Well, that's because when I went to do the screencast show, the software that I wanted to do a screencast on wouldn't start. In fact, it's still not starting, so I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Could be something with my computer, could be something with the latest version of the operating system, could be a bunch of things. I've eliminated a few of them, but I've got a support request into the maker of the software, so we'll see if I can figure that out. But that meant I didn't have a show. Why didn't I have a show? Well, I was going to screencast on the software that wouldn't start up. If the software that you're going to do a screencast on doesn't start up, it's really hard to do a screencast on it, isn't it? So the question is, how could I have done it better? Now, I couldn't help that the software didn't start up, but I could have started earlier, starting the software up, tried it 2 or 3 times, rebooted well before the show started, and then I would have known that it wasn't going to start up. So what I ended up doing is I restarted the software 2 or 3 times, and I rebooted about the time the show was supposed to start. So that was a little late. I should have done that earlier. And then I was done booting maybe 3 minutes, 5 minutes into the show. Nothing. Still didn't work. So that's some basic troubleshooting. If I'd started doing all that earlier, I would have known when it came to showtime to bail on that. Because try as you might, sometimes the constraints that you have prevent you from doing what you had planned on doing. Now, some people say, there's no such thing as plan B. This is my only plan. Well, that's valuable in certain circumstances. But in other circumstances where you realize that there is no way to continue with plan A, at least at the moment, it's worth having a plan B. So this is the actual lesson that I learned is I should have had a plan B. A plan B that doesn't require that particular software. So I guess based on this is one of the things that I do sometimes that I don't like that I do is I don't have a backup plan. If the computer that I'm using right now to stream and record this, if it somehow quits working, I don't have a backup plan. So I need to have a backup plan for if that were to happen. Now I'm working on an old XP box, and maybe I can use that as a backup to this, where I just hook in the camera I have. In addition to this camera, I also have a backup camera. Actually, I've got two backup cameras, so that's fine. In addition to my main stream, I also have two backup streaming providers, so that's fine as well. So, but I don't have a, a way to fix the computer itself if it fails at the last minute. I don't have a backup for that. I also don't have a backup, or I did not have a backup yesterday for the software that I was going to screencast on. Here's what I should have done. There are other pieces of software that I want to do screencasts on. I should have fired one of those up, and I should have said, okay, this is how I'm going to do it. And I should have done a screencast on that. Had I done that, that would have at least given you in the audience something to watch. So I'm really sorry that I didn't have that thought earlier, because as it is right now, there is no screencast for yesterday. Now I'm hoping that as soon as I get this done that I can make one real quick, or sometime today make one. But because it really bugs me that I've got that gap. But as of right now, I don't have one. And that's because I did not have a plan B. So here's what I want you to think about. Think about circumstances where it's okay not to have a plan B, like this is my calling and I'm not deviating from the calling. That's fine in my opinion. If you are pursuing your calling, I think it's fine not to deviate from it. But it might be worth imagining, is there some small tweak that I need to make so that this calling is, so that I'm more in line with my calling? Is there something that I'm not getting, right? So if my calling is to serve God and to do whatever he asks of me, it's possible that I have misheard exactly how to do it, and that's why things aren't working out exactly as they need to do what I'm called to do. That's possible. So that's not a change from plan A to plan B. That's just tweaking to get more in line with what you're supposed to do. But I think there are a lot of less important decisions where it's okay. In fact, it's very wise to have a plan B. Like yesterday, if the show is called a screencast show, but I don't say what software I'm going to screencast on, and that's on purpose because I want to have flexibility. But for the last 2 months, I've screencasted on ProPresenter 5, and when that didn't start up, then I was just up a creek. What I should have done is start up Wirecast and shown you how to use that, or started up QuickTime 7 to show you how to use that, or what's the other software that Camtasia. I could have started up Camtasia to show you how I use that. Any of those would have been good things to do, but I didn't do them. So this is a situation where I should have had a plan B, and I should have used that plan B to go out and change eternity. So I want you to, this week, plan a plan B. Think of uh, what you would do if one of the less important things fails in your life and use that plan to go out and change eternity. This is Paul Allen Clifford with TrinityDigitalMedia.com.